Checo's incredible lap at the 2022 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix gave him his first F1 pole position, breaking the record for most races before a pole position with 215 race starts, breaking the record of Mark Webber with 130 race starts. This incredible feat sums up the career of Sergio Pérez throughout Formula 1, which has had many ups but also many downs. And in this video we're going to explore Checo's incredible Formula 1 career that started with Sauber in 2011. In 2011, Checo joined the Sauber F1 team, bringing along his Telmex sponsorship from Mexico, backed by Carlos Slim, only being the 5th Mexican driver to join the grid and the first since Hector Rebeque left in 1981. He would open at the 2011 Australian Grand Prix, finishing his first GP in 7th position. He did this by being the only driver in that Grand Prix to finish the race with only one pit stop, something which would become a hallmark of his Formula 1 career as the tyre management champion. However, unfortunately for him, after that race, both of the Sauber cars were disqualified, which sums up his incredible talent but also lack of luck, something that would haunt him throughout most of his career. He got his first actual championship points in Spain of the same year, finishing in 9th place ahead of teammate Kobayashi in 10th. At the end of 2011, he then did a test in the Ferrari F60, which was their 2009 car, as he entered the Ferrari Academy. Checo then went on to get his first podium in Formula 1 in Malaysia of 2012, where he battled throughout the race with Fernando Alonso, getting into 0.5 second range of the Spanish double world champion before making an error in turn 14 and running slightly wide, finishing 2.2 seconds behind Alonso. In the same year, he also showed his spectacular overtaking skill, starting from 17th place at the German Grand Prix, going on to finish 6th. An epic feat that would give us a glimpse as to what he could achieve later in his career. Hamilton's decision to leave McLaren in 2012 and go to Mercedes for the 2013 season opened up a seat in the team, which allowed Checo to move to McLaren for the 2013 season. This also meant having to be released from the Ferrari Driver Academy. Sadly for Checo, at this point in their history, McLaren were no longer the title-winning team that had brought Hamilton to his first championship in 2008, and he had a tough year with McLaren. In Bahrain, he started 12th, but finished 6th ahead of both teammate Jenson Button and Ferrari driver Alonso. Sadly for the Mexican driver though, it wouldn't be a long-term stay, as he was replaced by Kevin Magnussen for the 2014 season. It wasn't all bad news though, and in a €15 million deal, Vijay Mallya signed the young Mexican to the Force India team for 2014. Throughout his time with Force India, he achieved 5 more podiums and finished 7th in the championship in 2016 and 2017, his highest finish throughout his career. Through the help of Checo, Force India managed to become the team that could achieve the most with the smallest budget, and in 2017 they finished 4th in the championship with 187 points. However, the Force India team began to fall into its demise at the 2018 Hungarian Grand Prix, when it was placed into administration by creditors that included Checo. Checo was the force behind these creditors making the move, and the reason for it was this allowed them to continue racing while the team looked for a new owner. Eventually, Lawrence Stroll was brought in and bought the team. However, they had to change their name to Racing Point Force India in an agreement with the FIA and Formula 1 management. In 2019, he was joined by Lance Stroll, son of owner Lawrence Stroll, who came in to replace Ocon. And that year he finished with 59 points, comfortably ahead of young Stroll, and showed just what he could do against the young teammate. Sadly though, this 6-year run at Force India would come to an end when it was announced 4-time world champion Sebastian Vettel would take a seat at Racing Point, which was becoming Aston Martin in the 2021 season. This immediately gave us all the foresight that there was no chance that Lawrence Stroll would replace his son Lance at the end of the 2020 season, and that Checo would be on the way out. Throughout the season, we saw Checo do some incredible races in what was called the Pink Mercedes and took his first ever Grand Prix win in the SKILLSHARE Grand Prix. He broke a record for the most races before a Grand Prix win of 190 that day. And it was also the first time a Mexican had won since Pedro Rodriguez won back in 1970. After seeing his last to first dash after a touch at the start of the SKILLSHARE Grand Prix, every single member of the paddock and even Martin Brundle chimed in and said that Red Bull need to seriously be looking at this man as a contender for Alex Albon's seat, which was in jeopardy at the end of the 2020 season. In December of 2020, Red Bull confirmed that Sergio Pérez would not leave Formula 1 and instead join alongside Max Verstappen for the 2021 season. When he entered that Red Bull seat, we all knew he had a difficult challenge ahead of him after Gasly and Albon both struggled to rein in the cursed second seat and to put any sort of pressure on future world champion Max Verstappen. Checo, though, true to his word, said it would take him 5 races to get used to the car and to put in any real performances, and on his 6th race, he took the win at Azerbaijan. He also gave the rest of the grid a defensive masterclass as he defended against Lewis Hamilton in Turkey with an aggressive overtake around the pit straight, and then once again at Abu Dhabi, putting Verstappen back in contention for the World Championship. Throughout 2021, he took 5 podiums with the team and put their faith in him to be re-signed for 2022. After only 2 races in 2022, we're getting a glimpse that Checo might be ready to push for a title fight, although Leclerc and Verstappen have other words about it, and in that incredible lap at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, he managed to put himself ahead of even Leclerc and, amazingly, Verstappen by taking pole. As I said at the start, this now gives him another record as the most races before getting your first pole with 215. Interestingly, the last person to hold this record was Mark Webber with 130, who was also a Red Bull Racing driver in the 2nd seat behind then world champion Sebastian Vettel. Throughout his career, the Guadalajara-born 32-year-old Mexican racing driver has thus far taken 1 pole, 2 wins, 15 podiums, and 219 races to become the most successful Formula 1 driver from Mexico in the history of the sport. But can he take the title? And what does the future hold for this incredible driver? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, watch this one, which I'm sure you'll enjoy. Well, go on. Go ahead. Come on, man. Just watch it. It's not going to take much of your time. Please, subscribe and watch the video. I need more wine.